Up next is another highlight of the day, a session by a young and a successful entrepreneur, Mr. Naveed Magundi. To do the speaker introduction, I would like to invite BCCI Executive Committee member, a prominent and successful businessman, Mr. Bashir Kiniga. Over to you, sir.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good evening, everyone. Our next speaker is not a guest, of course. He is a talent from within. He is one of the founder members of BCCI UAE chapter and currently is holding the position of a secretary at BCCI UAE chapter. I am very pleased to introduce him. Of course, not required an introduction because he is a very well-known figure within our community. However, as a formality and benefit of all others, just I want to give him a very small introduction about him. Naveed his name is Muhammad Naveed. He is from our coastal district. He is from Chikmagaluru. From a professional side, he is a finance professional and he has an extensive knowledge of finance domain. His area of expertise includes private banking, investment banking, real estate planning, asset protection, private equity, corporate finance, business strategy, fiduciary service, tax planning, succession planning, quite a lot in financial side. He has an MBA in finance management from PACE. Also, is a postgraduate in PWA from Oxford University. Currently, Naveed is heading a multi-billion-dollar family business, family office it's called, as a chief executive officer. And he is also worked in a couple of other financial institutions in the past, in Dubai as well as in India. Naveed also, most of you might be knowing that he's a very talented singer. He has a lot of followers in Facebook and all. You might be already heard his songs. He is singing in Kannada, in multiple languages, in Hindi and all. He has, I think, more than thousands of followers in social media. He is also a good sportsman. He's a good cricketer, as well as he is playing basketball, and he is represented so many tournaments and all, UAE and India. He speaks a number of languages. Of course, as a Mangalorean, he speaks Urdu, Hindi, Bihari, English, Arabic here, and I don't know what more, Konkani, of course. And his personal side of Naveed is married and is blessed with 3 beautiful girls. Today, Naveed is going to talk about another beautiful topic. It's a very important one. It's called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I am sure it will be very beneficial to all of us to follow. We are all looking forward for that. I request Mr. Naveed to please come and deliver your beautiful speech. Please come.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum, all my brothers. Thank you, Bashir Bhai, for a wonderful introduction. I'll just start with a kavana of mine when always I tell this. Avalu akasmat sikkalu, nanna nodi nakkalu, namagiga muru makkalu. I'm Muhammad Naveed, married and having 3 kids, staying, alhamdulillah, from past 13 years in Dubai. I'm very happy to see you all, such a good number that we are having today, to a wonderful initiative of BCCI UAE chapter. Let us discuss our today's topic, which is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The book is one of the famous books written by Mr. Covey, is called as Stephen Covey in the year 1989. And 25 million copies of this book is already been sold worldwide. And this book, he explains how a person can be successful with the help of true north principles, which is how you can go upwards in life. So let us take, is it working? Sorry for that. Right, let's take this story of famous Bata story. In the year, in 19th century, when the colonial Africa was opening up the market for any business to come into the market, famous footwear manufacturing companies sent their representative to Africa to see if there is any market for their footwears. What happened was, everybody came back saying that nobody wears footwear in Africa and there isn't any market for any footwear of any manufacturing companies. This particular person from Bata came back saying that nobody wears footwear, so ship whatever you have in the stock. So see there, you have two different way of thinking, you know. One group of people came back saying that there isn't any market, but Bata, executive, came back saying that there is a lot of market for their product. So he was thinking really positively. So that's why you can see Bata showrooms throughout Africa region. You know, even with the remotest place in Africa, you can see Bata showroom. So let us go to our today's topic, which is 7 habits of successful people. So let's go one by one, and then we try to speak a little bit more about these topics in the later slides. The 7 habits are: be proactive, begin with the end in mind, put first thing first, think win-win, seek first to understand and then to be understood, synergize, sharpening the saw. The 7 habits were put into 3 different stages, from dependent to independent and then to interdependent. Mr. Covey put the first 3 habits of successful people from, it moves from dependent to the independent world, and then the next 3 from the independent world to the interdependent world, from the outside world. And the last one is, sharpening the saw, which is a continual process, which has to be done on a daily basis. Covey explained the subject with the help of a fable of the goose and the golden egg. How a farmer became too greedy about the golden egg without even concentrating on his goose. So he killed the goose to get all his, all the golden eggs at once and became rich overnight. So here, Mr. Covey used this fable as a metaphor for business. What it means is, he told the goose, he compared the goose into the production line, as Mr. Jazir, right? Jazir was explaining about, people mostly concentrate on products, not thinking about how it has to be done and what is the, various backgrounds about it. So he was concentrating only on the golden egg, that is the product. It's a metaphor for golden egg. That's why, in any business, you have to make the production capability stronger so that you can have an excellent product. In finance and interest, he used a metaphor as finance and interest as well, assets, assets and interest. One cannot think, having $10 million today, we cannot all think, saying that I have $10 million, so I can live my life with this $10 million. No. What happens is your $10 million may not be 10 million after 10 years or 20 years. There will be a lot of reasons to it. Inflation, we had notebandi, for example. You can't keep stack of money at home. So you have to think in a way that it is not enough. You have to work on to get more. So let us go to the 7 habits one by one. You can always sit and grumble and tell so many problems and concentrate on actual, not concentrate on actual results. You can either be reactive to a problem before it arises, after it arises, and you can be proactive to a problem before it actually arises. If you have product, you concentrate it and make it worthwhile for your customer, plan to make it big. First one, habit number 1, be proactive. This is the foundation of all the habits. So if you have these habits properly, then you can concentrate, try to move on other things in life. Have a clear picture of where you want to go in life. What you wanted to do. Work according to your plan. Some will always say, beldilla baba, nala nokwa, indu beldilla. Very lazy way of taking life. But what we have to do is, what is the problem? We are not going to get it. Analyze things. That is what is habit number 2. Begin with the end in mind. You have the finish line in your mind so that, you can start properly and you can go on to get these things properly. ചെറിയേക്കുമ്പോ ഉമ്മ അപ്പ പായ മടക്കി ചെന്നാർ ഇപ്പൊ മാഷാല്ല എല്ലാവരും പായിക്കോ ഇല്ല ബെഡ് എല്ലാരും ബെഡ് വെക്കും മാഷാല്ല നിങ്ങൾ സുബൈക്ക് എഞ്ച സാത്തുക്ക് എന്തിനാക്കുന്നത് ഫസ്റ്റ് തിങ് many of you, what do you do? I ask this question to many of you guys. So what I do is I make my bed because I get up after my wife, so I make my bed. So what it means is the first activity of the day, if you are not doing it properly, then it means you are taking it very lightly. So what I'm trying to say here is you have a lot of things in life on a daily basis to do. You should know what is more important. If I ask you what is more important in life, you will say well-being, family, reading books, etc. What we do is Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Habit number 3, put first things first. Try to help each other in business or in any relationships. Don't follow the game theory principles. Somebody else's loss shouldn't always be your profit or your gain. If you win, share it with your employees. For example, have something in mind saying that Sans Pi Kabhi Bahuti story. You have to think, as Mr. Mustafa told, how he was struggling during his days. So everybody starts as an employee first. So when you when you win as a businessman, try to share it with your employees. And as Richard Branson quotes, client do not come first, your employees does. If you take care of your employee, they'll take care of your clients. Habit number 4, think win-win. Maatu bellatange maatundu manikavu, maatu taan ariyadada mange manikavu tootu biddante sarvajna. always listen, understand, and then talk. If you know to communicate better, half of the problem will be resolved then and there. Seek first to understand and then to be understood. Biggest communication problem is we do not listen to understand, we listen to reply. All right, moving on. 2 heads are better than 1. For example, Bashir Bhai cannot do everything of this single-handedly. That's why we have working committee, we have a management committee for this particular event. And we have an intention of what BCCI wants to do. That's why we want everybody's support to make it big. And this vision we have to achieve with the help of you guys. As they say, honey, honey, kudidare halla. Oggattige bala ide. Habit number 6, synergize. If you come together, we can make it really big. Abraham Lincoln quotes, if you give me 6 hours to cut a tree, I'll use 4 hours sharpening the saw. Which means we should always prepare ourselves better. Whether it is for a business or an interview, etc. And this is a continual process. Mr. Covey explained in his famous book. It's called as sharpening the saw. You have to always keep your saw really sharpened. I'll give you a small little story. If you don't open a door for 6 months or 12 months, after 12 months, if you open it, it will start squeaking. So that's how, if you don't use it yourself, it becomes, dormant. You cannot do anything, as fast as the otherwise. Finally, I believe we should have faith in us. Perseverance, patience. Anything you do, There is a famous Chinese bamboo story. Chinese filmatu Abdullah ka attention aaya It's not a Chinese corona story. It is a Chinese bamboo story. The Chinese bamboo story, for first 4 years, it doesn't show any movements above the ground level. It only shows movements after 4 years. What it was doing in 4 years, it was making itself more stronger on the ground level, so that it could show exponential growth. During the 5th year, it grows 80 feet in just 6 weeks. So from this, you can understand what you have to do in life. You have to be very stronger in your foundation stage. When you have your foundation properly, then you can run. As they say, crawl before you run. Let us be proactive, prioritize things, share and care, think win-win, join hands for better tomorrow, and be successful in life. ಸಮುದ್ರದೊಳಗನ ಮುತ್ತು ಅದು ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು? ಹೃದಯಾಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡಗಿದೆ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಮುತ್ತು ಅವು ಪೂರರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು. ದುಂಬುಪುರ ಇಂಚ ಬಂಡ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್ ಪೋದು ರಜಕೇಂದ್ರ ಪೋಂಡ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್ ಕೆಮ್ಮೊಂದಿತ್ತರು ಇತ್ತೆ ಪೋದು ಕೆಮ್ಮುಂಡೆ ಅವರ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್ ರಜೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಿ. That means we are in a corona days now. Please take care of yourself. And thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.